Hi, TheSuffolkRam from Rant Nerds. I'm on to another Ram Rants, this time discussing about the Steam Awards. So, Steam just finishing today their holiday sale. And I'm sure that most of you I've spent way too much money than I should have done buying games that have gone awfully cheap. It's probably one of the most decent sales I've had in a while. Their summer sale was very disappointing. Well, they didn't have one, was it? But it was disappointing to say the least. But yeah, I thought I spent more than I should have done. However, the big sort of thing about this one was that they had awards that you could vote in, and I voted as well. And when I realised this, you've got trading cards up, which you can also expand upon other things. But I thought it'd be good to have a little look at the votes. They've now announced the winners. Have a look, see what's on there, and discuss them. So the first award was for Villain Most in Need of a Hug. So the options you had was Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, Portal 2, Borderlands, and a game which I'm trying to remember the name of, which I need to look at. Dead by Daylight, which is a multiplayer game, apparently. So I've actually played 4 of those games, Far Cry 3 and 4, Borderlands and Portal. And the winner of the category was Portal 2. I'm not quite sure how you go around cuddling GLaDOS. I'm also not sure I really want to try and hug the villains in Far Cry 3 and 4. Vass, I'm pretty sure, would have you... Well, it depends who they're classing the villain. Assuming they mean Vass, who's like my guy, although he wasn't the main bad guy. He wasn't the top bad guy. He was really the main bad guy in Far Cry 3 and who stole the show. And I'm not quite sure what would happen if you tried to cuddle Vass. I'm not sure where he's been. And Pagan Mince is a little bit too crazy for me. Borderlands 2, I've not played enough to really discuss soon. I'm thinking, what's his name? Something Jack. Handsome Jack is the name of the villain in Borderlands 2, but I've not really got that far in Borderlands 2. It keeps giving me motion sickness when I try and play it, so can't really comment that. But Portal 2, I think a fair winner. Out of all the ones this is there, it's probably one I would have gone for. I didn't actually vote in this one, but that's what I would have gone for, because yeah, GLaDOS probably does just need a little bit of affection to sort of turn around, but yeah. No, I'm not sure to see the scientific merit in that, and whether she'd end up sort of gassing you immediately afterwards, which is probably what she would be a very GLaDOS thing to do. But you never know. Perhaps she would sort of consider it affectionate. Perhaps she don't. We don't know. The next one is for I thought this game was cool before it won an award. So this is for a game that it wasn't heavily publicised. It's all spread by word of mouth. And then everybody sort of picked it up and played it and enjoyed it. And the options for it were, if I wouldn't mind going through, Euro Truck Simulator 2, Starbound, Stardew Valley, Unturned, and Palladians. And the winner was Euro Truck Simulator 2. This is actually one I really do agree with, because I played this, I remember coming across this game. I actually came across Euro Truck Simulator 1. And it was cheaper. So I think it's only actually been in the Steam sale a couple of Christmases ago. I picked it up, or some autumn sale, some Halloween sale might be, or some sale I put it up in. I bought Euro Truck Simulator 1, and I played it, and I really enjoyed it. It was very basic, but I really enjoyed it. I thought, well, what Euro Truck Simulator 2 is like. So there's a free version of it you can download. Downloaded it and was absolutely blown away by how much it had changed in advance, how much detail they put into it, and how it felt like such a top-class game. And so I immediately, after half an hour just playing the demo, I bought out the main game. And I really enjoyed it. I mean, I've spent something like 60, 70 hours in that game, I believe. I'll have to look at the Steam Light to actually check for sure, but I've spent a lot of hours playing that game. Although at the time I might be a bit off, because I do tend to minimise games when I'm not using them, and Steam gets a bit messed up when you do that. I mean, it's a simple enough game. You just drive a truck delivering goods. But what I find this award quite amusing is that it says you tell your friends about it. Well, fellow podcast presenter Skaz, I basically spoke about it on our podcast, and he probably went out and bought it. And, well, from what I understand, he really loved it too. And this is not the sort of game I'd expect him to love, but he really did. So I would have voted for... Maybe consider when I've played, but I would have voted for Euro Truck regardless, because it is definitely, in my opinion, the sort of hidden gem I come across and then spread the word around with friends, and who actually then picked up and enjoyed it as well. So a really good choice there, a really good choice. Next one is for a game called Test of Time. This is for a game that basically is still good today as it was when they originally played. The options available for Test of Time was Civilization 5, Skyrim, Team Fortress 2, Tyrannia, and what's that last one? Age of Empires 2 HD Edition. The weird personally one was Skyrim. That, to be honest, out of all of them there, that is probably the one I would vote for because it's the one I've played the most. Skyrim was okay. I actually preferred Oblivion over Skyrim. Personally, I just felt the world was a bit more interesting than Oblivion and just a bit more varied, whereas Skyrim, it hooked me in but got very samey after not such a long time. Age of Empires, Civilization 5. I like Civilization. I played Civilization 3, or was it 4? I think it was 4 was when I played, and I got really hooked into that. And I suppose the sort of what I say is the games haven't changed. They've not really changed, but they're still just as good. I'm surprised Team Fortress 2 didn't win, to be honest with you, because that's got a huge fan base. I'm really surprised Team Fortress 2 didn't win, but they have made a few decisions with Team Fortress that may have upset a few people at times, so they may have disagreed why it's the test of time. So I probably would have voted for Skyrim. I mean, it's not changed really, so I can't really say it's got better. Still, it's a nice and involved game. I enjoyed playing Skyrim. I mean, again, it's a game I've probably got 100 odd hours into it, so I enjoyed playing Skyrim. I just don't think I would have probably preferred Oblivion on that list, and I would have voted for Oblivion if I'm honest. But yeah, I think Skyrim was a fair choice. Although if my friend Scar's watching this, he'll be shouting at me right now. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I think that was a fair choice of the award there. I can't disagree with that one. So the next one is Just 5 More Minutes, and this is for a game where you get in it, you get hooked, and you play for a minute again and again and again and again, and you get stuck on it. Now, the options they had in this were Terraria again, Rocket League, CSGO, Civilization 6, and Fallout 4. The winner here was actually CSGO. I actually voted for Fallout 4 because it was the game that I did find myself going, yeah, I'll just play it for 5 minutes. And actually, all the Fallout games have been like that. Fallout 3, I remember nearly missing college lecture lessons because of Fallout 3. Sitting there thinking, I remember playing, I had a lesson in the afternoon at 1 o'clock, and I started the game in about 9 in the morning, and I thought, must be getting sort of about mid-morning now. I probably think about going in. My watch was 10 to 1. Luckily, I lived on campus, so I could rush down there quite quickly, and still got there before the lecture because they were always late anyway, luckily for me. But no, it's a game I really loved. And Fallout 4 was the same. It was a game that I just kept playing. It's one of those games that I find if you take a break from, for say, more than 3 days, you'll then not play it again for months and months and months. Which happened last time, I took a break from it. Not for any particular reason, just I fancy playing something a bit different, and I've not gone back to it since. I think I was supposed to think, so I'll wait for the DLC to come out and then play all the DLC. I like to do all sorts of side stuff, all the DLC and everything before I do the main mission. And DLC's come out, and it's just not been that inspiring, if I'm honest, looking at the DLC. So I haven't sort of gone out my way to play the game and go OTT with it. So I suppose that regards it's not. I think it's as good as the previous Fallout. I still think Fallout New Vegas is the best of the lot that were done, but I do think that in my opinion, that obviously I voted for that because that's the one I think should have got it. But CSGO, I can see why, but I suppose a game which is about a multiplayer shooter is a game that's constantly fulfilling the same point, that same Pavlovian point that makes you want to play again and again and again. I can see why that would have won, and I can accept that, although I disagree with it, obviously, because I didn't vote for that. But that's fair, but Fallout 4 should have had it. The next game was Whoa Dude Award. Nominations for that were Bioshock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Doom, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and The Witcher Wild Hunt. I'm just going to check Metal Gear Solid was The Phantom Pain, because there's so many of them. Yeah, it was Phantom Pain. The winner of which was Grand Theft Auto 5. I suppose out of all of them, I actually voted this one. I would have probably voted, I suppose it depends by Whoa Dude is. Is it the game that's about, sort of really sort of shaking your ideas of what's happened? I mean, none of the games I would sort of, I suppose the twist, it doesn't come that you're not expecting, blows your mind, or like really sort of tests the row of your mind, sort of like that, wow, that's sort of Outer Way stuff. And all the games I would have put in that aren't on that list. I mean, I would have put things like the Task Principle, which is a bit philosophical. Soma I would have put in there, because that really sort of made me think hard about what was going on. Probably the only one out there I would have done would have been Bioshock Infinite, to be honest, but I'm not sure quite. I've not played Grand Theft Auto 5. There might be some really strange thing, but I can't imagine Grand Theft Auto doing that whoa sort of blowing your mind moment. I'm not quite sure why I won one, if I wasn't, but again, I can't see how Doom would have won in that situation either, but hey, it's what people wanted, so okay, I disagree, but it's there, I suppose. The next option is for game within a game, and this is literally what it sounds like. It's basically a game that's got other games in it which are just as good as the main game. Now, the options in this were Witcher Wild Hunt, which I'm assuming is for Gwent, the card game. I've not played Witcher Wild Hunt. Gary's Mod, Stanley Parable, Tabletop Simulator, and Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I'm not sure quite you can put things like Tabletop Simulator in there, because it's all about simulating tabletop games. It's a bit of a funny option to put in there, and likewise Gary Mod, the whole point about Gary Mod was sort of to create things in it and so forth. So it seemed like funny options to have in there, because it's sort of, they're not games within games, that's sort of like the engine behind it. Stone Parallel, I'm not quite sure which game I'm to having played Stone Parallel quite thoroughly. The only game I can think that's in that is the game we have to try and stop a baby being burned. It's the only sort of game in the game I can think of, because otherwise it's just a long choose your own adventure style plot twist game, so I'm not quite sure what that's doing, to be honest. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5, I'm not surprised, because Grand Theft Autos have always had lots of mini games in them. Well, these sort of recently ones have. Sure, Grand Theft Auto 5's probably got hundreds of them in. You can do. I'm sure you can perhaps do all sorts of things like bowling or fishing or painting the wall or digging your garden, tying your shoelaces. I'm sure it's got all those sort of games in it. I'm surprised Witcher Wild Hunt, because everybody went on about Gwent and how fantastic a game system was. I'm surprised that didn't win, but I'm guessing there's a lot of people out there who like Grand Theft Auto 5, because it's done very well at these Steam Awards so far. I think there's at least 2 which have won, so that's done pretty darn well so far. Next up, we've got I'm Not Crying There, Something in My Eye. So this is the game that basically, makes you cry. The options they had were To the Moon, Undertale. It's Undertale, I need to check the name. Yeah, Undertale, This War of Mine, Life is Strange, The Walking Dead. Ironically, This War of Mine, Life is Strange, I've actually just bought as part of the Steam sale, so I haven't had a chance to play them. I voted for The Walking Dead, and I still think Walking Dead is one of the most... we're talking about this Telltale adventure game Walking Dead, because I know there's about 100 Walking Dead games out there. I'm talking about the Telltale adventure game Walking Dead, and I have to say, to my mind, The Walking Dead is a fantastic story-driven game. It kept me gripped. I bought it a couple of years ago. I was actually ill with whooping cough. So I bought The Walking Dead on Steam, because I wanted to just play something, and I literally started it, and I didn't stop playing the game until I completely finished it, all the way through to the very end. It's probably been helped that there's been obviously the new Walking Dead, The New Frontiers just recently come out, so I dare say the idea is fresh in people's minds, which probably has helped it, but yeah, The Walking Dead, I think, is a very valid choice for a game, and it has got some very upsetting moments. And towards the end, I had a really choice at the very end of the game, which I won't spoil, was a tough choice. So yeah, that's what I voted for. I still agree. It should have won, and it has won. I totally agree with that. I think a very valid choice and very valid winner. The next award was for best use of a farm animal, and the options available were Stardew Valley, Goat Simulator, Ark Survival Fold, Farming Simulator 17, and a game which I've never heard of before until it just appeared in this award list, called Blood and Bacon. But I've had a quick look at it. It's a multiplayer game, so I'm not entirely surprised I've never heard of it, because I don't really do multiplayer games. I prefer just to play it myself. I'm a bit confused by some of the options on there, because Ark Survival Farm, I don't remember any farm animals in it. I played it. I don't remember any farm. I remember dinosaurs. I remember giant wasp things. I remember dodos. I don't remember any farm animals. I never came across a cow or goat or sheep or pig or chicken. I never came across any of those. So perhaps I'm missing something. I mean, no doubt you'd have to, given the way Ark normally works, you probably have to punch the sheep and you get wool out of it. I'm assuming is how the game worked. Stardew Valley I've never played, but it sounds like a game that's got animals in it. Farming Simulator 17, yes, it's got animals in it, but they are basically just they're just what they are. I mean, best use of farm animal, you don't really use them in that game, they're just all there. You then onto lorries, unload them, and they give you money. Well, they don't give you money direct, but you sell their produce for money. So, to me, the obvious choice is Goat Simulator. Why would you... Goat Simulator, if you don't play it, you play as a goat, and you simulate the it's a very accurate simulator where you go around as a goat and you get to headbutt people and smash things up and cause things to explode. And you can buy bikes, skateboards, wear hats. It's a game which is great for if you're just a bit bored and just want a little bit of fun. You don't really care what the fun's like. You're quite happy for it to be a bit, not saying mind-numbingly dull, but you just want just a bit of, that's the wrong word to use completely. A game where you don't care what the fun's like, you don't care if it's not really sophisticated fun, you just want to have a little blast, a little bit of don't care, sort of, like we've had too many pints, you just want a simple film to watch. That's Goat Simulator, and it's a good game. I've got it, I actually put on review, I think it was the best game ever made, jokingly review obviously. But, when I want just a quick blast, well, I do load up kits and just have a little blast around in it when I want just to have a little 5 minutes of hilarity. You don't play it for long stretches, you do play it for like 5-10 minutes and then you move on to something else. But it's a great game to have around. It's one of those games I think will be forever remembered more, and well, it's won an award. I mean, I would have voted for it. So it's clearly a game that has sort of struck the heart to many a gamer. So yeah, Goat Simulator I think is a valid and worthy winner of this award. The next one is Boom Boom, and this is basically an award where it says it's like a game that's meant to be like a sort of massive blockbuster movie full of explosions and basically just sort of wow, bangy stuff in it. The options they had were Doom, Kerbal Space Program, Keep Your Neighbor Explodes, Broforce, and Just Cause 3. I actually voted for Kerbal Space Program because I thought, well, you can't get much bigger boom than a rocket exploding. I would have probably considered Keep Your Neighbor Explodes. It's a game I want to play. I'm not going to play it. I'm going to play it with the guys on the podcast. So that looks like a fun game where you have to sort of, one person's the manual for a bomb and the other person can see the bomb and they have to defuse it. It looks like a fun game to have, so I really need to sort of get the guys to play it. Doom won. I'm not surprised. When I voted for Kerbal Space Program, I thought Doom's going to win this because that's what Doom's about. It's about sort of being in a... Well, most games are really about being in a blockbuster film, aren't they? That's what they're about, and they are about massive guns and explosions. So, yeah, I'm not surprised it won. I would love Kerbal Space Program to win, but, Doom's Doom, you've got BFG. What more can I say, really? It won. The next one up is the Love-Hate Relationship award. So this is for games that are basically... a game which is incredibly hard, really frustrates you, you can't stand playing it, but everybody loves it all the same. You love it all the same. The choices in it, this is actually one of the few games that have been up here which I've not played a single of the options. And the options were Dota 2, Super Meat Boy, Dark Souls 3, Darkest Dungeon, and Geometry Dash. I've not played any of them, so I couldn't vote in this logically. However, I did vote because I wanted the trading card, and I voted for Dark Souls because it's the one I'd heard about, and everybody went on about how great it was, about how insane difficult it was, and it's a game that I'm going to try. I have got it in my Steam, I just haven't sat down and played it yet. This is Dark Souls 3 in here specifically, but I'm going to play Dark Souls just to see what the fuss about, and I think it's one of the ones that I will find myself getting hooked by. If I had a choice of a game in there, I would probably put something like Armour 2 in there. Or it's Armour 3 nowadays, or was it Armour 4? Well, I would have put that on the Armour games in there, because to me it's a bloody hard game, but they are bloody fun. Or one of the Rainbow Sixes, I would have put one of those in there. So that's the choice I would have had, but I didn't have that option, so I did end up voting for Dark Souls. But as I've not played any of the games on that list, but I've heard enough about Dark Souls to know that they're probably the contender I would have considered the most playing. On to the penultimate award. So this is the Sit Back and Relax. It's literally a game where you can just get in, you don't have to worry about it, you just want to have a little relaxing, play around for 5, 10, 15 minutes. This is it. And the award options were Mini Metro, a Euro Truck Simulator 2, City Skylines, a game which I've not heard of called Varadi. And another game, which I'm trying to put my mouse on the name, called Abzu. Not played Abzu or Variety, not really heard of those, but I have heard of Mini Metro, and that's where you have to make like a metro map up, I believe. And City Skylines, which is basically another version, a different company's take on SimCity, actually. But the winner is, and the one I voted for, Euro Truck Simulator 2. That is a game where, you know, I fancy just an hour. I'm just going to drive to, you know, outside Europe and back with some loads of trucks, and it is a relaxing game. You go on there, you go on the motorway, and you're sort of, you're just checking your mirrors, keeping your speed up, set the cruise control going. You can load radios into it. You can either use stream internet radio, or you can load your own songs in it. So I used to put all Ricky Gervais' X-Zone shows on there, just sit there listening to them on the way, and just cruising around the motorways. And it's really a fun little game. It is a game that's nice to sit back and relax. The only stressful part is parking your trailer up, which isn't as hard as anybody makes out, but it's the funnest part. And yeah, it's Euro Truck Simulator 2. It's a game, so I voted for it, and that's one that did win. And it is really a game that is just about, it's a relaxing, lovely game. I totally agree with that. And it's a game that, if you've not played it, I really recommend playing it. It's won a couple of awards in the Steam Awards. I really recommend you to check it out. It's just a fun game to play. Really, it's just a fun game to play. Okay, so the final award was Better with Friends. And as the name suggests, this is an award that is meant to be about multiplayer, and what's good to have friends playing with you. The options were Don't Starve Together, Magica, Golf with Your Friends. Quite obvious what that's about. A game called Game Beast, and Left 4 Dead 2. I voted for Left 4 Dead 2 because it's actually I don't play many multiplayer games, but that is one I have played together. I really love Left 4 Dead 2. I love the sort of combat, and we played it as a LAN party actually, Left 4 Dead 2. Really had great fun. We all got around my house. We all got up all computers. We had a week-long LAN party, and that's when we played sort of in the evenings. I remember draining bowls of beer and rum. Really great game. Really, really fun game. So that's what I voted for. It did win. I've not really played any others to comment on them, but I can just say Left 4 Dead 2 is a great game. It's a bit showing teeth. I would like to have seen something like, I'm surprised, something like Bard, fellow podcaster Bard. I've tried his game, which I've now forgotten the name of, the game where you commit bank robberies. What's it called? Payday 2. I'm surprised that didn't end up in there, to be honest with you. But really fun game as well. So it won, and that's what I voted for. So hey, I'm doing well. So I hope you've enjoyed my little Steam run through the Steam awards and my thoughts on them. I've been TheSuffolkRam. If you enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. Details are on afterwards. So thank you much for watching. I look forward to seeing another one and possibly more of our podcast. So thank you much for watching. I'll see you next time.